I'm Russell Ivanhoe, CEO of Censo Inc. At Censo, we're bringing lab accuracy to point of care. The Censo team has developed a proprietary microfluidic technology that can accept multiple convenient samples, is run on a fully automated robotic platform that is cloud connected. This last feature allows for partnering with digital health companies to develop sensitive and precise algorithms for diagnosis and disease monitoring. But as you will see, we have two products for the COVID-19 pandemic that have tremendous value in helping to address public health issues derived from the pandemic. The team is diverse and extraordinarily talented. Aaron Rashamim and Jake Raby are the co-founders. Aaron has a PhD from Cambridge, UK in bioengineering and electrical engineering and wrote his thesis on biosensors for cancer biomarkers. Jake has extensive experience running labs with ELISA and also working on the Human Genome project. He's also set up manufacturing facilities globally. Yuba, our Chief Technology Officer, has a PhD in microfluidics from the Pasteur Institute and has worked at the French Atomic Energy Commission doing point of care testing. We have two platform products. Product one is a proprietary lab kit that employs an ultra-high sensitivity ELISA based on a proprietary modification. It measures S1 spike protein in levels equivalent to PCR measurements of RNA fragments. Product one is an FDA priority kit due to the magnitudes increase in throughput compared to PCR. Product two is our point of care system that is product one on a chip. We have successfully tested product one and two using alternative matrices. Product one is ready to scale and product two will be ready for mass scale up in Q2 2021. Here's a little bit more data about product one. It seems that to many that the COVID-19 antigen space is getting. NIH has published this slide showing that to suppress the pandemic, we need to do 15 million tests daily. Currently, we are at less than 1 million. Furthermore, our validation data shows great superiority to current antigen tests. The accuracy of a test at scale is critical as false positives and false negatives have significant impact on different cohorts and communities. For example, if we look at manufacturing, a high level of false positives can be very disruptive to a manufacturing line, such as in the automotive industry, where the line itself is socially distanced, but where someone being quarantined leaves a significant gap that must be filled. On the other end of the spectrum, a high incidence of false negatives can be devastating to the meat processing industry, as we've already seen, given the high density nature of their lines. This is our initial qualitative data. We procured 200 nasopharyngeal swabs from LabCorp for our retrospective validation testing. Half of those swabs were PCR positive and half are PCR negative. We've tested 20 in each group. What we show here is 100% accuracy compared to PCR. Since LabCorp did not provide us with the actual PCR data, we sent some samples to an outside lab in Portugal in order to gather the actual PCR data. We show absolute equivalency to PCR, which according to an NIH RADx panel is the most accurate SARS-CoV-2 antigen test they have seen. One can see that our high sensitivity ELISA test can measure a femtogram per ml levels of viral spike protein and can detect spike protein in cases where PCR CTs or cycle thresholds are greater than 30. Cycle threshold levels greater than or equal to 33 are not detectable by standard antigen tests. So that in these samples, the standard antigen tests that are EUA approved would not have picked up a number of these patients and would have been false negatives. FDA has stated that high throughput lab tests are a high priority. We can increase throughput compared to standard lab-based PCR tests by many orders of magnitude due to our test being isothermic. In addition, the spectrophotometer that is required for the colorimetric ELISA reaction is a low-cost device. Product 1 validation is nearly complete and ready for EUA submission and subsequent scale-up. We will continue the validation for alternative matrices. We are in conversation with potential manufacturing partners who have the capacity to scale up to 10 million tests per month. We need an injection of capital, run the validation studies, and fund the scale-up into commercial efforts. It won't take long given the demand that for us to reach profitability. We are in discussions with Velocity DX for distribution and commercialization partnership, and with Thermo Fisher for a manufacturing partnership. We have also received interested queries from Asian entities for distribution to meet their specific needs. We are working with a clinical trial program with HCA for further external validation to support submissions for alternative matrices in asymptomatic patients and point of care. Product 2 is our crown jewel that brings lab accuracy to the point of care. Here we can see that the chip is comprised of 8 high precision injection molded pieces, which are bonded using a proprietary method. There are 2 pneumatic lines that control over 200 integrated microvalves that in turn control reaction times. There are 6 modules with 30 microwells per module, and this allows for multiplexing and to run standardized tests in order to quantify results. There are 2 distinct outlets for waste. On the right, you can see our platform, which is a desktop printer size automated lab platform. The user simply loads the samples into the centrifuge, loads the cartridge, presses start, and waits for the reaction to finish. The results are automatically uploaded to our highly secure, HIPAA compliant portal where patients can access their data. Product 2 is ready for optimization and validation testing in preparation for EUA submission. We have the market-ready system undergoing testing now, and we have a strong relationship with our manufacturing partner to begin to scale the robotic lab platform. Our clinical and regulatory plan is simple and straightforward. Simple in large part because of the low bar set by FDA for the national health emergency. We are close to completing our template for pre-submission of Product 1 to FDA ahead of the full submission, which we anticipate submitting towards the end of the 4th quarter. That will form the foundation of submitting further iterations as outlined in this plan, focusing on asymptomatic patients, non-medical sites, pharmacies, dental and offices regarding Product 2, as well as multiple test matrices. Institute is a dental offices consortium of beyond COVID, we have a multitude of opportunities as shown here. One that we are strongly considering in view of the economic and clinical costs is guiding antibiotic use in primary care offices, urgent care centers, emergency departments, and clinics. We have already shown lab accuracy in product 2 for prostate-specific antigen. And there are many other significant point-of-care clinical needs that we can address in pregnancy and fertility, extending cancer diagnostics, dementia, heart failure. Here's our data for PCA. We collected blood samples from 13 subjects, tested them on a prototype automated platform, and then sent those same samples to labs in the UK. The results show exceedingly strong concordance using the Bland-Altman test. The two methods are shown to be interchangeable. There are only a few steps required for getting to large-scale distribution during the pandemic for both our product 1 lab kit, which can be run on standard lab equipment at high complexity labs, and product 2, our point of care, fully automated multiplex test system. And after the pandemic, we see enormous opportunity. We will approach our growth into new clinical markets methodically, working out the assay, converting the chip, and commencing manufacturing at scale. When we pivoted from cancer biomarkers, PSA specifically, to COVID-19, it took only 4 to 6 weeks to work out the new assays. Our team knows how to get it done with great capital efficiency. We have a strong intellectual property portfolio, including a freedom to operate review that supports our case. These are our first submitted patents. We have a number of new patents in the pipeline we are working up for submission currently. Our business model is very simple as outlined here, and the COVID-19 opportunity stands out as very unique. We plan on working with distribution partners for product 1 and product 2, as well as beginning to develop business development and commercialization functions in the company. Our use of funds are pretty clear, as I've outlined during this talk, and we have a significant hiring plan which will move us to the next level. Thank you for your interest, time, and attention. Please feel free to reach out to me at russell@senzohealth.com.